What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network for more gameplay from the Sunday Open on May 10th, 2020. This is round 7. I'm playing Dragapult VMAX Malamar versus Pikarom here, and going into this round, I am 5-1. Top cut is 6-1 is guaranteed for top cut, and 5-2 is the bubble. So winning this will guarantee me for top cut of the 100-person tournament that was held on Sunday. And before we start watching the gameplay, shout out to potownstore.com, my sponsor, and the best place for you to get ptcgo codes. Use code CELIO for 5% off over there. And I'd also like to mention my Patreon, patreon.com/CeliosNetwork. If you'd like to support the channel and get some great benefits like premium articles and deck building advice, then head on over to the link in the description below for more information on that. So without further ado, let's start watching the game of Dragapult Mali versus Pikarom. So I'm going first here with a fairly decent hand. I have a couple options. I have the Jirachi start, which is nice. So I could Stellar Wish first, or I could search for something first. My issue here that's taken me a second is I don't know what I want to discard with the Quick Ball or with the Mysterious Treasure. Now, I would use a Quick Ball first here since Mysterious Treasure can get the evolution and the basic forms of my Malamar line and my Dragapult line, but Quick Ball can only get the basic form. Now, Quick Ball can also get something like a Dedenne, though, so maybe I use Mysterious Treasure for a Dragapult V if I'm looking for a Dedenne later on. So I Stellar Wish into a Viridian Forest, and that can just be my target to discard with one of these item cards. So I am going to treasure away the Viridian Forest, and something important here is you'll see there's no Dedenne GX in the deck. So Dedenne is prized. I'm getting Dragapult V, so I can attach an energy to that. That's important since this is a Dragapult deck. But I have no Dedenne for next turn. I've already Stellar Wished. I have no supporter in hand. I have no other way to draw cards for next turn in my hand yet. They could get a turn 1 Full Blitz and knock out this Jirachi, so I definitely want to Quick Ball for another Jirachi as a backup here, which is unfortunate that I have to do that and get rid of one of these cards. I think the only cards that I would get rid of here are a Mewtwo or a Zigzagoon. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Mewtwo. That's what I choose to discard for a backup Jirachi. So even if they Full Blitz, I still have a guaranteed at least one Stellar Wish next turn. I want to bench the Mew just in case they shuffle my hand or something. I want Mew on the board. And over to them. So when Pikarom's going second, the pressure is always on to get the turn 1 Full Blitz. So they played Tag Call. They're playing the Tag Call variant of Pikarom, which has definitely fallen off in popularity. I think when Sword and Shield came out in Japan, and there were the first major events from Japan, we saw results from there. Tag Call Pika was probably the leading variant for a little while, but players ended up just sticking with Volkner Research, Volkner Cynthia, and no Tag Calls for the Guzmahala, for the Cynthia Caitlyn, for the Malolana. And of course, Tag Call can get the Pika, and it can get the Alolan Raichu tag team. Guzmahala, though, has gotten a slight buff in this deck, since, as you see, it can search out Speed Energy. And Speed Energy is a very great card out of Rebel Clash. So, Guzmahala for Thunder Mountain and Speed Lightning, and now Electromagnetic Radar, probably for a Dedenne and a Raichu. Okay, Dedenne and a Zeraora, that's fine as well. Excuse me. Play the Speed Energy, get 2 more cards. So far, a really strong turn from my opponent. They're going to get to draw 6 more cards. They already played a supporter. They already have an energy down, though, so we'll have to see if they can get the Coco Prism, the energy switch, and they already have the Thunder Mountain in hand, so they're going to play that. Here's the Coco. So now all they will need is an energy switch off the Dedenne to 6. They might already have the energy switch in hand. One of those 2 cards in hand is a Dedenne. We know that. Wow, they had the energy switch in hand, so they just had this hand right off the bat. They had tag call for Guzmahala. Well, they also had the energy. They could have drawn the energy switch off of speed energy. But they had Guzmahala, Dedenne, Guzmahala, and Electromagnetic Radar. So the Guzmahala lets them draw 2 with speed energy, and it gets them a guaranteed energy attachment for turn, and their Thunder Mountain. So that's 2 big pieces. The speed energy that they got is both the energy attachment and draw power. Then they had Radar for the Dedenne to draw an extra 6. So just a pretty wild turn for my opponent there on turn 1. Especially since they're playing the tag call engine, which I think could be seen as the more conservative, slower, but consistent version to build Pika. But now I think it actually might be more aggressive or just as aggressive, since it can guarantee searching out the speed energy. As long as you start with a Radar or a Quick Ball to get the Dene, and my opponent had both the Dene, both Radar and Quick Ball, so they could get the Dene and Coco Prism. It seems pretty good. So here I Stellar Wish, and I had another Jirachi. So they did end up full blitzing and putting 3 on the Zeraora, so forcing a 2 prize Pokemon into my attacks could jam me up a little if they're not playing Jirachis, or if they get this Marshadow off the board. And they're probably not playing Jirachi since they're playing the Tag Call variant. So here I am not getting an attack off. I research into 4 supporters and some other cards that aren't really helping me too much. So there goes the energy onto the Dragapult. Dragapult V, not VMAX, unfortunately. I could scoop up net this Jirachi. No, I already used 2 Stellar Wishes, I believe. So, yeah, my turn just has to end there, unfortunately. They could really just end the game here with, like, Boss's Order, Electropower. That would be devastating. Since I don't have another Dragapult V, I can't just charge one up right out of nowhere with a Malamar, even if I got one. So, we'll have to see what they're able to do here. It could be devastating. Energy onto Dedenne. Okay. And Marnie. Alright, I'm happy to see a Marnie there, because it's not a Boss's Order. So my Dragapult is safe. Unless they're playing Pokemon catchers or custom catchers, but we'll just hope they aren't. So just Marnie and full blitz. That's fine by me. And they're going to power up another Pika a bit. And maybe we will attack this turn. Actually, we're definitely attacking this turn. We got Treasure and Board off of the Marnie there from our opponent. So we're going to Treasure away the Psychic Energy. Thin out the deck before we go with the Stellar Wish. It's going to get the Dragapult VMAX. Secure that now. And we Stellar Wish into a Research. Not bad. I think I definitely take the Research here. Yep. Alright, so now we have a supporter for turn. We have our attacker ready to go. Possibly with a second Horror Energy on it. I wonder. We attach this Horror Energy. I think I'm doing the math like, well, will this second Horror Energy matter? I don't think it would. I think I would rather maybe hold an attachment for another Dragapult V. Looks like I'm going to put it on. So there's that. I have a Malamar, so, and I don't put this Guru down because I want that extra bench spot for another Dragapult. And I do draw into a Malamar as well, so I can start accelerating to a fresh Dragapult V. We're going to treasure away the Malolana, and I'm not sure how much I like that. I think Malolana could be a very good supporter next turn. And here I'm getting the Tina. Okay, so I'm getting Tina to get rid of a special energy, and I'm quick balling away the Malamar here to get the Marshadow to reset hull away their Thunder Mountain to try to put them behind a little. But while this is definitely good, I think I am overthinking here, and I should have just kept the Malolana, evolve Malamar, get another Dragapult V. I definitely should have done that, and I could be punished for this. So, yes, I'm getting rid of an energy, and I'm getting rid of a Thunder Mountain, but they have so much energy on the bench, I don't think it matters. I did save a bench spot there by playing the Marshadow, by playing the Tina first, then scooping it up, then playing Marshadow instead of playing Marshadow, playing the Tina. Then scooping it up, I guess it would be the same thing, really. So, yeah, I should have saved the Malolana. I really went with a route that was strenuous on my resources there. And while, like I said, while the plays I did there were advantageous for me, getting rid of a special energy, getting rid of a stadium, I think it's better just get a Dragapult, Psychic Recharge and energy, and keep your Malolana there. Because unless they do 320, there's going to be a damaged Dragapult in the active. It could even be a paralyzed Dragapult if they energy switch to an Alone Raichu. So having just the Malolana ready in hand would be so good. So yeah, I really messed up there. Let's see if I'm punished for it. They just tag called for Malolana, so they can almost fully heal this Pikarom. That's going to be very good for them. Yeah, if I had Malolana in my hand, a fresh Dragapult, I could just go Malolana, Stellar Wish, Retreat, have a 20 damaged Dragapult VMAX instead of 150 damaged Dragapult VMAX, and just kind of mirror what they're doing with negating the damage I just did. This the second Horror Energy I attached could end up mattering since they're bringing up a fresh Pika, or not a fresh Pika, but a Pika with 50 damage on it, instead of hitting into me with a Pika with 130 damage on it, where it would be a two-shot. This could matter if I have the scoop up nuts left to use Zigzagoon twice, but I'm not sure if I have the scoop up nuts left at this time. There's Giant Bomb. That might be good here because I have 170 HP left, so maybe I don't mind throwing away that Malolana anymore. But this Giant Bomb could just be wasted if I leave this Pika with 20 damage and then they swing into it. A Horror Energy would do the same thing, so that's going to feel bad probably. But it does mean they don't want to swing into it with something that is healthier. Okay, so we're going to switch into the Jirachi. And I guess we're going to grab that Malolana for next time. So if somehow this Dragapult survives, which it definitely should not, I have a Malolana in my hand now. And I put 3 on the Dedenne. Okay, so what I'm doing here is if they knock me out with the Pika, and they knock themselves out in the process, which I don't think they'll do, I can just win by getting a boss's order and a boss's order and a scoop up net. which would be a lot to ask for. So, because I would scoop up net the Zigzagoon, put a damage counter on the Mars Shadow, Boss's Order up the Dedenne, knock that out, and the Mars Shadow at the same time. So they just Electromagnetic Radar in a, and a Alolan Meowth down into the discard pile. The Alolan Meowth does 60 damage for free, for no energy, if you're going second, I believe. So it could do, or maybe it does one, or maybe it does 70. It does either 60 or 70, so it could do a cheeky amount of damage to Dragapult for free on their first turn if they're going second. So interesting, but seems a little niche. They're going to energy switch from the active to the bench Pika. And to go ahead and Dedenne here. So yeah, the play with the Malolana was just very bad. I saw this one line of play and I got tunnel vision on it. To go with the special energy removal and removing the Thunder Mountain when it didn't even matter because they had so much energy on the board anyway. So here they're going to knock out my Dragapult and they're going to take 150 damage to the Zeraora. So, or 140 damage. It's at 150 now. So all they have to do is gust one time. So a Fion or a Boss's Order. And I have a Boss's Order on my own, but I need to draw cards here. I need to get Dragapult VMAX and either a Malamar or an Energy. Oh, both of my Malamars are gone. So that's another thing with that. Just terrible turn from me. I got rid of my second Malamar. I got rid of a Malolana in my hand that could have really gotten a lot of value. I think I would have secured the game if I played Malolana there. So I just cannot stress enough how bad that play was. So here's a Marnie. I could have researched to try to get what I need, but I also want to mess up their hand. So I chose Marnie instead because I figured I could research, but I'm leaving them with an 8-card hand. And I'd rather try to hit what I need and disrupt them, because even if I get what I need off the research, it might not be good enough because I'm leaving them with such a large hand with many options. So I did get what I need here. I have a treasure in hand and I have an energy in hand. And I can take 3 prizes. I can take 5 prizes here, my bad. 5 prizes, go down to 1 prize. Get the Dragapult VMAX ready. Catch Horror. And like I said, if my opponent has a Gust, they win. If they don't have a Gust, I win. And in formats with a Gust supporter, you'll notice that it often comes down to that on like the last turn. Like, oh, you got the Lysander because if you don't, I got the Lysander. And I think that's what we're going to see here. Actually, I wouldn't need the Lysander. Or no, I would. I might not because of the Mars Shadow. Well, there's Scoop Up Net. And I take 5 prizes here, and we both go down to 1 prize. So just like that, 1-1. And we see if my opponent has a Boss's Order or a Fion. Here's Quick Ball. They do have a fairly large deck for this point in the game. Still 17 cards in there, only 3 cards in hand after the Quick Ball. And they're getting a Galarian Zigzagoon of their own. So a fair amount of text in this list. They've got an Alolan Meowth and a Galarian Zigzagoon, which are pretty uncommon, I'd say, in Pika. And a reset stamp to 1. That's pretty good. Get Scoop Up Net. So if they were to paralyze me here, I'm not getting out of the paralyze right now. Yeah, so they might be Tingly returning here. Double power and Tingly return GX. So it's not like I said if they don't have the gust, I got the game, but where they could just paralyze me. They switched it up, and I have nothing to get out of the paralyze. This feels bad. I got Scoop Up Net and I got Horror Energy, and those two cards are doing diddly squat for me in this situation here. So I've got 200 health on this here Dragapult VMAX in the active. I've got many a thing to be sniped on the bench if they can gust. And I've got a Scoop Up Net that does nothing for me. If Scoop Up Net returned tools, like if the tool came back, I could scoop up for my board, attach that to Dragapult, I could retreat and, you know, have an out with Stellar Wish. But Scoop Up Net discards all things attached to the Pokemon when you scoop it up. Here's a Tool Scrapper, getting rid of my board. And here's the Dene. So if they got Gust, they got Gust, and that's the ball game. Quick Ball. Every time a card comes down, I'm like, whew, it'll be a Gust. There's a Great Catcher. I don't have a GX or EX on my board though. Nothing. Electro Power. That's 180. They need 2 Electro Powers. There's Bolt Hund. That's not going to do it. And they don't have it, I guess. They're looking for an option. And okay, research for 7 cards. They have 7 cards in deck and they're drawing all 7. So I guess it's kind of like the I'll just play my hand out. I don't got it. They didn't have Gust. Do they have Electro Power in their final 7 cards? That's all they need. Looks like they don't. They have Big Charm on the Mars Shadow, but that doesn't matter because they have a 0 card deck. So I just win next turn by declaring my turn. I just end my turn and I win. So GG. I guess my opponent thought he had an Electro Power in there, but even if he didn't, I can just Scoop Up Net the Zigzagoon, put it back down, damage on the Mars Shadow 5, and the Mars Shadow is knocked down. I get my last prize card. So here I'm just attacking, and then the game ends when I end my turn. And that's GG. So somehow came away with the win there against Pika. That's round 7, and I finished the Swiss rounds with 6-1, so I'm going into the top cut of the tournament. I hope you guys enjoyed that game. Lots of things to learn from my mistakes there. I got tunnel visioned, and I think that's the biggest thing to take away is there could be a good line of play, but make sure there's not a better one. I think that's the biggest thing to learn from this this game here. So hope you enjoyed it. As always, shout out to PotownStore.com, my sponsor, and check out my Patreon if you're interested in that. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. Playlist link is in the description down below for all of my matches from this tournament, and I'll also be adding a deck profile on the deck in there eventually. I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.